Long ago, in a quiet village named Chandrapur, there lived a man called Neil with his wife Tara and their two children, Ishan and Myra. Neil had inherited fertile farmland, a sturdy ancestral home, and some savings from his hard-working father. But unlike his father, Neil disliked labor. He believed he was clever enough to earn money without sweating in the fields. Gradually, instead of cultivating the land, he began selling small portions of it to manage household expenses. Tara grew anxious as she watched the property shrink. One evening she said, "How long can we survive by selling land? Our children are growing. Their future depends on us. Please take up some work or start a business." Neil replied confidently, "I don't want to work under anyone. I'll find a smarter way to earn. You'll see." The next day, Neil visited the wealthiest trader in the village, Prakash Agarwal, who owned several grain shops. "Neil, what brings you here?" Prakash asked. "I have an excellent business opportunity," Neil said smoothly. "If you lend me 20,000 rupees, I will return 70,000 within a month." Prakash looked surprised. "That's a big promise. What security will you give?" "My house," Neil answered quickly. "We'll sign proper papers." Greed tempted Prakash, and he agreed with high interest. Encouraged, Neil repeated the same story to three other wealthy villagers: Ramesh, the oil merchant, Jagat, the cloth dealer, and Bhupendra, the moneylender. By evening, he had gathered a large amount of money. When he showed the cash to Tara, she gasped, "Did you mortgage our home?" "Not to one person," Neil smiled, "to several. I have a clever plan. I'll lend this money in another town at even higher interest. The profit will repay everyone." Tara felt uneasy, but could not convince him otherwise. On his way to the nearby town of Shantipur, Neil crossed a forest. Beneath a large banyan tree sat a holy man named Swami Dayanand, deep in meditation. Suddenly, Neil spotted a snake crawling toward the sage. Without hesitation, he threw a branch and drove the snake away. Disturbed, the sage opened his eyes. "Who are you?" "My name is Neil, from Chandrapur. I saw the snake and wanted to protect you." The sage nodded kindly. "You risked yourself for me. Ask for a boon." Neil's mind raced. "Grant that those who lent me money will never ask me to repay it." The sage studied him carefully. "Choose wisely. Words shape destiny." "I am sure," Neil insisted. "So be it," the sage replied. "As long as they live, they will not ask you for repayment." Delighted, Neil continued to Shantipur to meet his childhood friend Arvind, who was known for his sharp business skills. "I have capital," Neil told him. "Lend it at high interest. Keep 1% for yourself and give me the rest." Arvind smiled. "No written agreement? You trust me completely?" "Of course," Neil proudly said. Arvind agreed and took the money. For nearly a year, everything seemed perfect. None of the lenders in Chandrapur demanded repayment. Neil proudly told Tara, "See, intelligence is more powerful than hard work." But 1 year later, Prakash Agarwal's son, Manish, came to their house. "My father passed away. Here are the signed documents. Please repay the loan with interest within a week." Neil felt his heart sink. Soon, the sons of Ramesh, Jagat, and Bhupendra arrived with similar demands. Fear gripped the household. Tara said sadly, "I warned you. What will happen to our children now?" Desperate, Neil rushed to Shantipur to find Arvind, but Arvind's house was locked. Neighbors informed him that Arvind had taken money from many investors and vanished overnight. Shocked and furious, Neil ran back to the forest to confront Swami Dayanand. "You deceived me," Neil cried. "You promised they would not ask for repayment." The sage calmly asked, "Did they?" "It was their sons." The sage replied gently, "I granted exactly what you asked. Those who lent you money did not demand it while alive. Their heirs have the right to claim it. You asked poorly because your intentions were wrong." Neil stood speechless. The sage continued, "You wanted wealth without effort. You deceived others. Now you taste the fruit of your actions. Wealth gained without honesty does not remain." Ashamed, Neil returned home. He sold the remaining land and the house to repay every lender fully. his family moved into a small rented hut at the edge of the village. For the first time in his life, Neil worked as a daily laborer. He carried bricks, worked in fields, and helped in construction sites. His body ached, but gradually his mind felt lighter. He no longer feared creditors. One day, an elderly blacksmith named Gopal noticed his dedication. "If you are willing to learn," Gopal said, "I will teach you this trade." Neil accepted humbly. He worked patiently, learned honestly, and over time became skilled. Years later, through sincere effort and savings, he built a small but strong house for his family. It was not grand like the old one, but it was built with dignity. Tara smiled with pride, not because of wealth, but because Neil had transformed into a responsible man. He often told his children, "Never chase shortcuts. Hard work may be slow, but it never betrays you." The moral of the story is wealth earned through dishonesty and shortcuts disappears quickly, but money earned with honesty and hard work brings lasting peace, stability, and respect.